And again, I've just explained to them people, they're going, oh wow, you know, but look at this again, the real estate here, yeah. Look at it, look, see it, look, X X X. You got the circle within the square, you see it, look, all Masonic, my profane friends. Look at all the pyramids. Who do you think owns that? The profane people? Of course they don't. Don't be daft. Can you see that circle, look, right between the middle pyramid, look? See that circle there? See? But you know what that is, don't you, my profane friends, eh? You know what I mean? But there you go, you see, they own all this real estate, you know? Look at the 3 columns, look. 3 columns of Freakmasonry. It's a very high ranking Freakmason live there. 3 columns, look, you see? Their symbolism knows no bounds in Edinburgh. You know what I mean, my profane friends? And until we oust them out of power, they're going to keep controlling, keep ruling, and we'll have nothing. You know what I mean? Because they're going to make sure you lot get nothing. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, you know. How far is the bridge that way, sir, to get over? Yeah, thank you. Is it? Oh, is there a bridge to get across there or what? What the hell? No, there's no bridge. I'm stuck on this side of the river. Things are getting bad. You know what I mean? I better do a bit of running. Let's try it with my sciatica in my arse cheek. That's killing. You know what I mean? I don't think I can run far. But I want to get past these people. They were so lovely. You know what I mean? When you're in a rush, you got to run. You know what I mean, guys? How far can I get? You know what I mean? Let's go. I didn't know I'd be walking this way. I knew I should have gone the other way. I knew it. Oh, baby. Well, let's have a look. See what's Masonic up here, shall we? But the thing is, people need to educate these people about what's going on, you know. Because once people start seeing the symbolism, it's the way to bring these Freakmasons down and then question the people that are actually in charge of our... Now I can get a better picture from it here. Let's have a look through here, yeah. Look. Who do you think controls that house? Who do you think's running that, hey? My profane friend. Oh baby, it's doing mad. But you know, so people start standing up saying, well, how come this Freakmason owns this? Why does that Freakmason own this? When are we going to get a chance to own a shop, to own a business? And if we do come in direct competition with you, will it be bashed up by some little criminal that you control with your drugs? Do you see what I mean? Because they're the ones doing the favours and they're the ones looking after them, and that's why they've been allowed to do it day in, day out. Selling it to the children and that, you know. It never ends. Oh, hello, we've got the stork, look. He's normally in Great Yarmouth, he is. You know what I mean? Look, there he is. Wait, you little bugger. There you go, look. It's more than likely a Masonic one. Got a black and white head. It's a Masonic raven. You know what I mean? But anyway, beautiful here, beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can find a way across these bloody rivers. You know what I mean? I ain't swimming that. I would have done back in the day, but with this sciatica I can hardly move. You know what I mean? I'm limping. Ah, there's a bridge. I've got a bridge. I'm halfway across, but does that get you the rest of the way across? Or just to some island that you can't get across? You know what I mean? Right, hopefully this will get me across. But again, if we come here, look. Again, what do you see? Not that square and calm piss again. What is that square and calm piss doing again on this bridge? You know what I mean? That square and calm piss is violating everywhere I walk. Everywhere. You know? And then on top, look, we've got the pyramid, you know, with 3, can you see the thing? And they've managed to get their little, see the 3 prongs, look? 1, 2, 3 sides, look, then through that you get your Masonic obelisk, look, see? Or do you think that little bit of decoration there is for keep the birds off for the cats? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, and then right here, look, we've got the world domination ball that we control over you. You know what I mean? Marvellous the way they do it, innit? Well, we're getting there. It's beautiful here, look at this, what a walk. What a fantastic walk. You know, look at this, it's great. Right, beautiful, you know what I mean? Can I get over that side of the bridge from this way? Where's there a bridge here? What, go over there somewhere?
Just follow it around, pal, and another bridge.
Ah, beautiful, thank you. You're the best of the best of the best. Right, we're getting there, you know what I mean? Quick, rapid, you know what I mean?
In a row facing
Power.
each other, kind of.
Go on, hey. She loves it. Right, so little runner, running, I did a hand slap. She loved it. See what I mean? People are friendly. Profane people are lovely. You know what I mean? They're not sitting there screwing you over, wanting to sell drugs to your kids so it gives them a better car for their kids, or, you know what I mean? It's all nice, you know? You know what I mean? They're not wanting to go to war to take someone's land or whatever, you know? That is profane people, you know, nice. Freakmasons are there trying to screw you over, keep you down within your societies, keep you in line for the elite lords, dukes and earls and them lads, you know. And talk about it all day long, you know. Even when they brought that thing out and locked us all down, the people that were doing the actual security for them people at the centres that would be in the test centres were the same people that are looking after Tommy Robinson now. Do you see what I mean? Do the research on it. You know, I know, I've got the evidence on it. You know what I mean? The same security companies here, what belong to the Masonic Lodge, were looking after the doctors that were doing all the testing. So how does that work out? You know what I mean? And then we're involved in the miners' strike. It's all on videos. You just got to listen to the criminals. You know, how they brag. You know what I mean? But do you see the government doing anything about it? No, they still allow them to control the doors at this precise moment. You try putting the policemen on the doors and that, you know what I mean? You know, some good people. It ain't going to happen. They're going to keep causing trouble and everything else. In fact, do away with nightclubs and pubs, because that's where most of the drugs, when you send your children out and say, have a lovely night, that's where they're getting them, you know, and grooming them for the drugs or sex trade. You know, again, that's in their videos. They say it, it's not coming from me. That's a fact. You know, but no one's protecting the children from the drugs, are they? Within any community. And the people who are doing it are a minor group of families, you know, that have been doing it for centuries and decades. Controlling the town, controlling the city. It's all on an agenda. And no one sees it. But how are you going to protect yourself against a gang of gypsy G travellers? How are you going to protect yourself? Hey, they don't give a shit about the police because the police are on their side. You know what I mean? That's a given. You know? Again, look, another bridge. Again, look, if I just show you this a minute, actually, when you see this, see on top of that, oh, where am I? Yeah, oh, it's there. It's camouflage. See that there? Look, when you look at it, it's a square. There's also a circle. It's got a pyramid on top, you see? That's what it is, look. Pyramids, look. What do you think that is, look? What do you think that is? That's 232, look. It's the Masonic cube. It's got a circle within the middle of it. It's got a nice pyramid on top as well. You know, and as we come to the bridge, again, we've got the pyramid. And then if we look up above, look, hopefully that's doing it. See, it's a square within a square. And then right on the rails, look, once again, we have the square and calm piss. See, and obviously that's the point within the square, look, that's the point within the square, and you've got your 666, you know, the fourth one is your 9, that's the Masonic 9, the magic number for Freakmasonry. That's what it's all about, you know. Oh. It's wonderful. In fact, if I look at this, look, watch this, look. Even the squells, look, so that's your main block. Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3 squells. Yeah, and then 1, 2, 3 squells, and then 1, 2, 3 squells, so you get your Masonic 9. Are you with me? You see what I'm saying? You know? Oh, it's so exciting, I know that. So what we got here, like, I'm going to count them. But again, it will be a Masonic count between each block. A silly little pyramid. But there you go. You know, everything's Masonic. Doesn't matter where you are, where you go. They're the ones controlling everything. They own all this land, but they won't let anyone build on it. You know, the homeless or anything like that. Cool, no way. Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry. You're right. That's me. I was distracted there. They walked right into me. But that's the thing about it. You know, you can't just take it away from them. They ain't going to allow you to do that. Like I said, the first thing they're going to send is their gangs with their baseball bats and all that. And let's just say you defeat them, you know, like on the picket lines, yeah, like the miners' strikes or any other strike, yeah. You know, like in America, that was, can't remember his name, you know, the Teamsters and all of that. Again, all criminals, yeah, you know, controlled by the criminals. And people knew it, but what did they do? Nothing, because they were the strong leadership. You see what I mean? That's what happens in every town and city now. The same thing, you know, the families, yeah, the fighters, they control it. You know what I mean? They do it through the drugs and everything else. But that's what they send anyone who talks out or speaks out against them. They send in their big heavies, you know, the gangsters. And then if the gangsters can't shut them up, yeah, they then send in the police. And even if they sent the police in as the gangsters are beating you, they go, oh, we can't do nothing. There's no evidence. The same old thing they always come out with. You know, there's not enough evidence. There's not enough of this. No one sees it. No one witnesses it. You see what I mean? So they get away with it all the time. And like I said, it becomes an isolated incident. You see what I mean? You know? Same as any sort of killing or murdering through the gangster thing. You know, and that's what happens. You know? Becomes an isolated incident. You know, where's the proof? Where's this? Where's that? And it's the same old adage, even though you know for years and years and decades the same people have been doing the drugs and everything else. No one does nothing about it. You can't do nothing about it because the police are sent in to protect them. You know what I mean? But the police will never do anything against them. You know what I mean? Because if you do, you'll end up like Ecuador and all of that, you know, where they're getting shot and killed or threatened. You know, or your family. It's all run on blackmail threats and everything else. That's how they rock and roll around any town or city. The Masonic Lodge controls it all. The town halls, your parish councils, it's all done by threats. If you go against it or speak out about them in any form of corruption, the first thing they send round, like I said, are the criminals. If that doesn't shut you up, they'll get you some other way. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm now going, my profane friends.